Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of The Trading Floor with your humble host, Johnny Barbosa. A dose of mentally delicious brain food reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Here at one of the most anticipated days of the week, Weekly Wednesday, and it has been a day for sure. So Weekly Wednesday, one of our main goals is to find a stock that's gapping or doing something exciting, find a little bit of an edge to it, and see if we can get into some type of spread or call sale or put sale or something that allows us to get some percentage gains before Friday of this week and, you know, kind of worst case scenario next week. As an update for those of you who are watching this video, I'm going to come to a really cool website. You might have heard of it before. reallifetrading.com, and I'm going to come to the live trading room, and I'm just going to give you guys some updates to see the holiday schedule. So tomorrow is the 15th of January, and I get to go do something called mediation with lawyers all day tomorrow. Yay! So it's actually quite exciting because the divorce from the ex-wife, there's a good chance the ex-wife will be there. Not the real one, but the fake one, the made-up one. And we will see. We will see what the future holds for real life trading. My really giant goal is for everything, for the mediation attorney to just kind of split it down the middle or whatever, and just say, okay, you know, Jeremy, you get these assets. Ex-wife, you get this. You guys are compromised. Leave it alone. And then real life trading can go enrich lives. That's all we want to do, and just take over the world. So the 15th, Brad and Angie will be hosting the trading floor all day. There was one thing I just remembered, Angie, that you and Brad, I don't know exactly how you're going to record it. So I might need to talk to you guys after that. You can record through GoToWebinar, or I'm sorry, the Click Webinar. Okay, cool. Have you practiced that, Brad? I don't mean to ask you live. I just kind of, I didn't even think about that. So, okay, cool. Well, of course, you're Brad Reed. That was such a dumb question. Sorry. Guys, in case you don't know, Brad Reed is a black belt in quality processing from Six Sigma, meaning he's kind of a big deal. So if you guys ever want to process, analyze your Lean Six Sigma, he knows what he's doing. So I trust Brad fully. I'll still do something special for you guys, but I really have no idea the outcome on this day. I really don't. I don't know. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Right after this, I'm going to go meet with the attorneys, and we'll see what's going on. But anyway, I'm hoping that we'll be back on the 16th in action. The 19th, the market is closed. That is Martin Luther King Day. So trading floor is not open. Market's not open. I'm not open. I'm not going to be here. There's a good chance Saturday, Sunday, Monday, myself and Ashley are going to have a nice little cabin retreat in the woods out in the middle of Chattanooga, Tennessee somewhere for a day or two, and, you know, do fun things like get pedicures and go hiking. I'm pretty much going to do whatever she wants me to do because she gave up swing dancing so that I could go watch college football. So that was a cool deal on her part. But anyway, 19th is going to be no trading floor, and we'll be back on the 20th, hitting it hard and having a good time. Any questions about that, ladies and gentlemen? Just in general, that's just kind of housekeeping. I like to kind of update you guys on what's going on so there's not any huge, massive, incredible surprises. Rob, okay. Very nice, Rob. Good for you. Proud of you. Jay says good luck tomorrow. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. All right, cool. Well, let's go look at the giant market and see what's going on. So here's my theory at the moment. SPY had a very interesting gap down today. It was a retest gap, which did play out pretty decently. You would have at least been able to scrape out a little bit of profit. And I'm still kind of on board with buy the bounce, expecting a low to shock some of the weak bulls. I'm still kind of on board with that, right? This is a very, very strong support at 197.82 on SPY. Could we take that out? Yes. Will we? I don't know. I don't. If we do, I could expect some bearishness to kind of come in a little bit in this general range. And then we'll probably be looking to buy probably somewhere around here. Somewhere around this blue lettering, which is around 194, 195. And from there, it'll be kind of interesting to see how and if it plays out. But that's just kind of my expectation. That's expectation number one. Expectation number two, we had a nice gap down today. Today is, and so far is forming a nice little high wave white candle, in which case we could do something like this, and we could get a gap up tomorrow and do some type of morning star reversal. So if I go into the hourly chart on SPY, well, we can see that there is a really, really nice size white candle in the last hour. I actually got stopped out on two trades that I got into, Tesla and Ross, for 2-hour loss during that little bullish pop. And my thought is for weekly Wednesday, looking at SPY, let me go ahead and write this in, because this is going to only be available for just a few hours. If we take out the high of today, potential weekly bull put spread 199 and lower. If we take out the low of, let me actually put the day, which is today is the 14th, 114. If we take out the low of 114, weekly bear call spread, 201 or higher. So that's something that we could consider for a weekly spread. So what I'm looking at pretty much is if tomorrow we gap up to here, look and verify, are we trapping people? What does it look like? What type of candles are we getting? And then maybe you could hop into a weekly bull put spread, something like this that expires this Friday, and vice versa. If we start taking out the low of today with something like this, then we could hop into some type of bear call spread right here that expires this Friday. And again, we're not looking to get a big move on spreads. On weekly spreads, I look for anywhere between 4 and 10%. That's kind of a sweet spot. 4 and 10% for weekly spreads. I'll do 3% every now and then if it's a nice one. I like 4 and 10. Somewhere between that range for 3 or 4 days is really, it's doable. We've done it. Actually, I think our ratio right now on weeklies to Wednesdays, we've done it every single week, at least once. And I like the fact that we have Thursday and Friday together. So if something does crazily change and happen, we can talk about our plan together and talk about unraveling, whatever the case is. So Catherine's asking the question, can we form a morning star reversal on SPY? And yes, that's absolutely correct. We really, really could form, a little bit of a candle like this and then, continue higher. We could form a morning star. Yep, absolutely. That's kind of actually what I think will happen. The QQQs, we're at that support. There's a nice little white candle today. It was a retest gap. If we close below 99.51, I will be a little bit more bearish than bullish. Again, I don't think we'll go to zero, but it'll be good enough to get us into maybe some weekly or 2 to 3 week spreads, or maybe some quicker day trades, because that is obviously kind of a pretty decent little pattern if we do in fact close below 99.51, especially if we take out the low of that candle. So since we have a white candle today, if we do take out the lows, it would, in my opinion, give us a little bit of indication that we might trade lower. So let me kind of put into here, this would be a short-term 1 to 3 weeks max bear trigger. And that's at 99.51 if we close below there. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Qs. DIA is kind of similar. So DIA, we got triggered into a quote-unquote protective put location yesterday, and it did kind of break a little bit lower. I'm still kind of on board with this right here, but it is a nice high wave candle, and kind of the same thing would apply for the DIA as the SPY, right? If we take out this low, hop into a bear call spread for, weekly Wednesday, and if we take out the high, we could get into a bull put spread expiring as well. Jay said she did do the bear call spread on Tesla. Beautiful. So let me look at the IWM, then I'll hop over to Tesla. So here's the IWM. Again, gap down, nice white candle. I'm touting for a Morningstar reversal or like a small white candle tomorrow is definitely a potential. And I will not get into any indice spreads unless we start taking out the lower of the highs. And I got to be honest with you guys, I probably won't be able to trade at all tomorrow. With weekly spreads, you do kind of have to be there. That's the thing. Don't let some other company or education company or website or program tell you that you don't have to be monitoring weekly spreads pretty close, because you do. Okay? You do have to kind of monitor weekly spreads pretty closely. As simple as that. If you're getting into a spread on Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's expiring that Friday, number one, it's a dang close spread. It's 10 points max away. It's not far. And you have to monitor it. You've got to be able to unravel and know where to unravel and know where to exit, that type of thing. You've got to be able to do that, and that's just really how it works. So the IWM, I don't really have much on the IWM. So here's Tesla. So let's look at Tesla. Tesla was a really, really pretty gap down. It failed our do or die circle. We had our bearish entry back here at 209.76, and we really did hit our target. 194 was our target, but we gapped over that this morning. So if you got a chance to exit this morning on the gap down, you did pretty well on that trade. There was some pretty decent volume coming in, but we do have a little bit of a bearish shadow. So I'm going to get rid of this intraday trigger because we do have a white candle. We have a white candle, so I'm not going to get a bearish swing trade directional on Tesla yet. My thought is the next 2 or 3 days we'll probably do something like this, potentially, and then roll over. That's kind of my guess. It's a little bit of my guess. So what I've got planned for Tesla is that going into the hourly chart, we can see a little bit of bearishness on the hourly. Here is your exponential moving averages. And the exponential moving averages, the 10 exponential moving average on the hourly is now at 194.78. So here's what I would do, Jay, on this particular 205-200 bear call spread expiring this Friday. Read it and weep. Read it and weep. Is that the term they use in poker? I need to come up with another plan. But that's my plan. If we do not close above 195 on the hourly, I wouldn't even worry about the spread. Wouldn't even stress about it. That's your line. That's your line in the sand. Because on weeklies, you don't play around with weeklies. All right? They either work or they don't. That's what happens with the weekly spreads. So if you have a 200, which is right here, 200, 205, the spread is above the 10 and the 20 exponential on the hourly. It's above the gap. It's above the support line. Old support, new resistance. So unless we close above 195 on the hourly, I wouldn't even stress about this trade at all. If we do close above 195 on the hourly, it's very, very simple. Probably the easiest thing to do is just exit the spread. That's simple. Just exit. Means you exit both legs. Buy to close the 200, sell to close the 205. Just get out, exit. That's really about it. That would be my plan on Tesla. I was considering as well a bull put spread, actually getting us into an iron condor for a weekly, because there is premium down here. The problem is there is so much bearish edge that I think that might be kind of a dumb thing to do. So I'm probably not going to do that. Because we are losing. I mean, the bearish edge is here. We've made a lower low. I really don't see a lot of support for the bulls. Bollinger's, we got into the bottom band. We trapped someone from yesterday. So yesterday was a white candle. We got below this pivot. Looks like we might even close below that pivot. Realistically, next target's about 178.10. And since the edge is so bearish, I think I'll kind of pass on a bull put spread. Even though a bull put spread as well, you could get almost $1 for that thing. For this Friday. For this Friday. So the premium is there. So we'll be keeping a close eye on Tesla tomorrow, but most importantly Friday as well. Let me hop over to Netflix. And Netflix, this is one that Robert Meek, I think you're going to want to keep a close eye on this one as well. So Robert Meek and I think also Pat, they have a 310 for this Friday. So today is Wednesday, obviously. Here's the hourly. I'm going to come into the long-term moving averages. And again, Robert, I think your line in the sand is, or kind of should be, approximately 314. So if Netflix gets below 314, I would just exit your spread since it expires this Friday. I would just exit. The 300 295 bull put spread should be just fine. That expires this Friday as well. The 300 295, that should be a-okay. Again, wouldn't even worry about that trade, stress about it, concern myself with it unless we close below 310. But with this particular candle, let's go see if there's any premium up in this area for a Netflix bear call spread. I'm just going to check because that's what we do on Weeklies Wednesday. I'm just going to check and see if there's any premium up there. The long-term moving averages have crossed bearish. Let's see if there's anything around 335. There might be. That's about 10 points away. 335. There is some premium. 335, 340. It's $5, and you can get about 30 cents of it for that. That's about 5%. That's kind of right in our sweet spot. 335. Give me 1 second to think about this because this is a bullish gap right there. That is a bullish gap. 335 though is right here. Let me look at the daily. Exponential moving averages, I think we're below 2 of them. We are. Okay. This one will be close. We're going to come up with our quote-unquote line in the sand for this trade as well. So anytime you get into a spread, you should have an exit plan. You should know exactly where, when, and why. So let me clone this. Bring this up here. 335, 340, bear call spread. Would only consider exiting if we closed above 331 on the hourly or daily. Yeah, and that 331 is pretty much right here above the wick of that candle from today. So again, your goal is you wouldn't even touch, worry, or concern yourself with that spread unless we close above the wick of today's candle. So closing above the high, which it's it's Netflix. It can happen. Here's your 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart. There's not really a massive edge here. There is a slight bullish edge. So Robert, I think you would be okay. But again, 331, you're dealing with this resistance right here. 335 is right here, and 340 is right here. That's below the 100 and 200 on the 15-minute chart. It's below the 100 and 200 on the 30-minute chart. I'm sorry, it's above. And it's above the 100 simple on the hourly. It's good. I like it. 40-cent limit. And again, when you're dealing with these spreads on a weekly, the exit / unravel is all based on sentiment. It's all based on sentiment. So if it gaps or something happens, pre-market, you've got to do exactly what you normally do, right? Go in. So let's say hypothetically that Netflix gaps up to right here tomorrow morning, 3:37. What do you do? Well, if it gaps up there, you're trapping anyone who sold short there, anyone who sold short there, anyone who sold short there. Are you at a loss? Yes, you'll be at a loss. Will it be the massive loss? No. Won't be a massive loss because tomorrow's Thursday. But you'd be at a losing position. So if that happened, you would wait probably for a little bit of a pullback where you would unravel because there's a gap there, and you would hold on, more or less, hoping that it pulls up a little bit, and then you exit at break even or a very small loss or a very small gain. And you just kind of manage your risk because on spreads, your number one concern, do not lose money. That's your number one goal because if you lose on a spread, you can lose. So your number one concern is do not lose money. Know where to exit, where to not exit, where to get out, where to, why, all that kind of good stuff, because it happens. Amazon, we might be able to do this exact one again. 282, 277.50. Give me 1 second. Amazon. Options. Bull put. Yeah, there's premium down there. 282.50. Well, really 282.50, 280 is right at 20 cents. Which is about 10%. $282.50, $280. January week 4 bull put spread, 20-cent limit. Well, I'll do 18-cent limit. You guys tell me, because I forgot. Where would my line in the sand be on this trade? Where would be I'm not even worried about it unless this happens. What would that be? You guys tell me? Per my particular chart, I guess you would say. Jay, what do you think? Trish? Where would my line in the sand be? So if it does this, then I do this. Where would that location be? I think Richard, you're spot on. He said 284.29. Would I want to close below that? Yes or no? Yes. I want to close below that. Line in the sand, 284.20 with a close on the hourly. Brad says bullish divergence on Stokes. Ooh, that'd be even better. Stokes. Let's see if we got it. Yeah, there appears it could be a little bit. There's some on RSI. We're making lower lows. We're getting a hammer-ish candle. I liked this spread yesterday, and I like it today as well. Okay. So again, if tomorrow, if we just come down here and we close like this, we should probably just exit. You know, simple as that. Because can that happen? Yeah, that can happen. Will it happen? Probably not. Probably not, but you know, never know. Google. Earnings is around the corner. If we got a spread in here, I heavily doubt there's any money in a 485, but if there is, that one's going to be beautiful. Because that's right in that gap. Steven, I'll hop over to Wells Fargo in just a second. Google. Options. Again, this is expiration this week. I doubt there's money in here. No. There is no monies. Earnings, I think, is... There might be money for next week. January 23rd. Okay. Ooh. 485, 480. So you can get $1.60 here. And you could get $1.10. That's 50 cents. That's a 10% return for a week and a day. 485, 480, and I would not exit or unravel unless we close below 487. That's in a gap as well. 480, 0.5 cent limit. Bull put spread. 50 cent limit expiring next Friday. Analysis on weekly Wednesday. And here would be again my quote unquote line in the sand. If we close below there. It's a little bit of a close one, but let's see if divergence is here, because that'll kind of help that momentum just pause for a moment. MACD, there is some divergence on MACD. Some pretty decent divergence too, from here to here. Let me check out Stokes. A little bit of divergence on RSI. Stokes, But again, that premium's good. It's not sensational. So it doesn't make me cry. Doesn't make me worried. It's good. It's not phenomenal, but what do you think, Reed? Press the Jeremy. For when I review this tomorrow, what is the amount for the line in the sand? 46.70, right below that support. I think, Brad, if you pull up tomorrow, you can pull up my charts and you can go through all this analysis anyway. Just FYI. I don't know if you want to do that, but you can. So, for example, if you go to TradingView and you want to look at it, you want to look at my analysis that's been saved, you can go down to my charts and then just type in whatever stocks you guys want to look at, and my analysis should pull up. Just FYI. So that could help. But as a review for today, this was probably either Wells Fargo or JP Morgan were probably kind of my two favorites day trades analysis from yesterday. So we did these analysis yesterday, Here is our tweezer top. Had a few folks get embarrassed after the tweezer top. They obviously got paid off pretty nicely today. So here's the analysis. A gap down on Wells Fargo is expected if it opens below 51, which it opened at 51. Bearish retest gap. So this is how a lot of the traders played it. Here's your gap. Here's a gap up. And here's the failure. Simple as that. Pretty much everyone in the sun played some type of retest gap today. Arthur or Cheryl or whoever else. Lorenzo said, I'm out of Tesla with a loss of 1R. I'm good on it. Yeah, I got out with a 1R loss as well, Lorenzo, on Tesla for the day trade. I'm with you on that one. I'll probably look at that in just 1 second. But here was that flag I was talking about, Arthur. Boom, boom, boom. So I am glad that we didn't get in. But yeah, it's just too much volume, man. Too much volume on that bounce. Look at that volume. Just really kind of the best volume of the day except for the morning. But anyway, what's going on now? What are we looking for now? Well, as of now, on the hourly, we got some really, really decent candles. This is a big bullish candle. That's a lot of volume, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of volume. A lot. So today was earnings. I think we can get rid of this analysis now. Worked out phenomenal. We looked at that one yesterday. This is a pretty decent gap right here. That's the only thing that's kind of stopping me from going bullish right now, is that this gap did kind of trap some people. I'm calling a Morningstar reversal in the market, and I'll be right unless I'm wrong. You guys like that? So really decent volume for today on Wells Fargo. We had a retracement. Let's see if we get a little bit of a gap up. But if we do get a gap up, it'll be a retest gap tomorrow. So Wells Fargo was just flawless. JP Morgan, ugh. That was really, really easy analysis yesterday. So this just kind of goes to show you there's some people out there that said the trading floor, since it's during the market hours, it's not really helpful. I don't know, because if you get the recordings and you check out just our analysis in the last 15 minutes, we're going to look at the stocks for tomorrow that are gapping. I think that analysis is pretty valuable that you guys do. Because maybe it's just me, but you guys have been destroying your calls for the next day. And we've been on that pretty solidly. You guys remember Adobe? You guys called Adobe the day before. Now, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but we had a plan for it. And that's all you need to do in trading. Create a plan and then follow through. So JP Morgan, we were looking at a very strong support. Gap down. That was a retest gap. Gap below 58 is a good bearish retest. Well, 5-minute chart. All of that was some retest action. Retest action, retest action, retest action. Blah, 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 blah. Just kind of kept rolling over. So, beautiful trade. And it did trade down to a support, got a little bit of a lower shadow. Beautiful analysis, guys. Great job. Bang up job, folks. So, since a lot of the financials did gap down to, here's FAS. And we're looking at this earlier. Right? We mentioned that there was a little bit of a hammer coming in, that we should kind of pause and wait. So here it is. So this is a really decent gap on FAS. It really, really is. So let me see if 118, 120 is paying us any money now. Because it wasn't really paying us a lot of money earlier, but now that we've moved up like 3 or 4 points since we were waiting, I think this could be something here, maybe. 118, we might be able to get 50 cents for. 120, we might be able to get less. We might be able to get 30. That's 20 cents. That's a 10% return for a 118, 120 bear call spread expiring Friday. I like that. I'm going to put that here. 118, 120 bear call spread. 20-cent limit expiring this Friday. Would not even worry myself unless we close above 116 on the hourly. And I like this gap down more than a lot of other gaps for a few reasons on FAS. That's probably one of my favorite spreads. I liked Amazon too. It looks like we might be taking out this pivot. We have 24 more minutes, so I would like it if it closes below that pivot. If it doesn't, I understand, but this is a retest gap, and it did take out a lot of white candles, right? So if we go back to the hourly chart, let's look at some of the strong candles that it took out. Here's your hourly. And it gapped below this pivot, and this pivot. And all of this space is just kind of like hanging out as a strong resistance. So granted, if we do move, today is kind of a hammer candle. So keep your eye on a gap, right? If we start gapping tomorrow and we have a lot of bear spreads out there and we gap strongly, depending on what we need to do, we may need to unravel it if it's a good gap. Otherwise, we'll just exit. But at the moment, I kind of dig that. Here's your exponential moving averages on the hourly. Again, we looked at that about 2 hours ago and waited to pull the trigger on a spread. So that spread is now above the 10, the 20, and the 50 exponential moving average, above a gap, above a pivot. I dig it, I dig it, I dig it, dig it. Let's see, folks. Let's see what happens. Anything that you guys want to look at before we look at what's gapping for tomorrow? I mean, we did the gambit today. Let's go back to Alibaba, because that is, we do want to close below there, and we have not closed. So I'm gonna come to that one at the very end of the day, because if we don't close below there, I'm gonna adjust my triggers. He says, Brad, do you buy to close the 200 call for a small loss on the 205 call run for profit? If it gaps or moves strongly against you, Arthur, that is correct. Yes. That is absolutely right. On Tesla. That's the one you're referring to. Okay, so you guys just want to go and look at the gaps for tomorrow. Okay, cool. I didn't really see anything else out there. Citigroup, you said is doing earnings. Citigroup's going to be interesting because Citigroup closed below this pivot the other day, retested, and then failed, and we got another retest gap today. I doubt that we take out these wicks, but if we do, oh my goodness. Below 47.66. Target is 46-ish on the daily, so keep that in mind. But gap would be a nice bearish retest. As far as a gap up tomorrow, we're gonna have to kind of go into the hourly a little bit, because to me, I'm guessing this gonna, yeah, we got some white candles. So for me to make this even remotely fun, we got to get it above 49.80. We got to clear that gap. If we gap above 49.80, decent bullish retest gap. Newsome is calling for a gap up. I want to do earnings season and see if I can really get over 50%. I mean, ironically, truth be told, I probably won't. But I'm going to do my best to keep a record of my earnings calls. Because it's a guess. You guys do know that, right? It's a total guess. I have no idea. 100% guess. But sometimes I do kind of think candle sentiment has a way with earning gaps. So I think this is going to gap up. But we'll see. So that's Citigroup. Let's go do Bank of America. Bank of America could be fun. Man, there's so many lines on Bank of, there's so many pivots. Bank of America was mean. It took an R away from me today. Can you guys believe that? It took an R away. Come on, Bank of America. What you doing, bro? Pretty decent little excuse me, I'm so sorry. Pretty decent little support right there. It would be good if we gap below here. It would be great if we gap below 1540. Good bearish gap if we open below 1572. Great bearish gap if we open below 1539. Newsome is calling for a small gap up on earnings. Gap above 1650 would be decent retest gap. Here we go. There is Bank of America. Let's go do LEN, Lennar Corporation. Lennar. Going to be some interesting pivots on Lennar Corporation. That's really the strongest one. That's a pretty good one as well. Will we get above here? I doubt it, but we'll see. I doubt we gap below 41, but that would be the best gap. I have no idea what this is going to do, but I guess I'm just going to guess. Best bearish gap would be to open below 41.19. That's really kind of about it. 48.62. If we gap above 48.62, if we gap above 48.62, good retest gap. Newsome calls for a gap down. If it's a small gap, welcome to Yonville. Population, Lennar Corporation. There we go. I'll save that. Brad says LEN open contest. Hey, dude, you'll be playing it tomorrow. Or I mean, watching it. Sure, why not? This is open for anyone else who's live on the trading floor. If you are live, you get access right now. Go ahead and post your open contest. I'm going with 44.53. That's what I think it's going to open at tomorrow. So you can post it right now or post it on Facebook. Facebook would be great. That would be my preference for you guys to go to our Facebook page. Arthur says, why bearish? I'm just guessing, dude. I have no idea. I'm just trying to guess better than 50%. I have no idea. Arthur says, yep. If you really want to know, Arthur, if you really want to know, because whoever went short there, and I think they know something. There's a lot of bearish volume 2 days ago. So if you have a Facebook, you can post on Facebook. Otherwise, you can post it right now. Facebook's preferred as well. Higgins said post on Facebook. Thanks, man. You guys do know what I'm talking about, right? Real Life Trading Facebook page. It's going to be all the rage. It's all the rage. It's already all the rage. Real Life Trading. One good reason to be on Facebook. So that way we can keep track. Because if you guys win a contest, thank you, Mr. Higgins. If you win a contest, you're going to win an awesome prize. I will be honest with you. These contests are not easy, but if you win it, you'll win a cool prize. All right, so there's LEN. TSM, semiconductor, Taiwan semiconductor. This thing gaps all the time anyway. Eh. 2050. Best bearish gap will be 2050. Newsom calls for a small gap up, which would be a retest gap. Be to open below 2050. Okay. Brad says to win the contest, you must get it right to the penny. That is correct. Get it on the penny. Get it on the penny. Get it on the penny. It looks like an interesting pattern. I might change mine to a gap down. I am. I'm going to change it to a gap down. Small gap down. Probably won't be very good, but TSM gaps all the time, every day, because it's traded 24 hours. So the gap will mean much less to me unless if it really opens below 2050, that'd be a pretty decent gap. Okay, sweet. What do you guys want to look at? We got 12 minutes left. Excuse me. Still got my cough going on. I got to take my antibiotics. I got to do that before I go to the gym. Or, before I go to the lawyers. Or I've been to the gym. SLB. Ooh. SLB would and could be fun. So this is gapping tomorrow as well on earnings of potentially. Okay. Really, you'd want to gap down below 75.61. Bearish gap if it opens below 75.61. Newsom calls for a gap up on earnings. Would only play it if it opens above 83.50 as a retest gap. The Great Gatsby. I love that so much, Richard. That made my day. That made my day better. The Great Gatsby. That's funny. All right, so there's SLB. Schlumberger. INTC and then HAL. Intel. What is Intel doing? Nice little distribution phase on Intel. Those are some clearly defined pivots. Put Intel on your watch list, folks. Because that's the one that you want to gap. All right. Newsom calls for a gap down on earnings. Okay. A gap below 35.28 would be a nice bearish retest gap. A gap above 37.89 would be a good bullish retest gap. I like those clearly defined pivots. You guys see those? I like that. That looks pretty to me. I mean, if it opened below here, there's just a lot of space to work with. You know, nice and clean. Cheryl said, can I get Logix on my smartphone? No. I heavily doubt it. It's an actual program. I mean, you could ask, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Pat. Pat Coffin says, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. We are just too good. We're just too good at everything that we do. Ah, you guys rock. Intel, so far probably one of my favorite setups. I don't even know what it's going to do. I'm calling for a gap down, but as you guys know, it's just a total guess. I don't actually know. No clue. Halliburton. Is earnings tomorrow, Steven? It says it's on the 20th. Oh, you just wanted to look at it. Oh. Okay. Close above 40.88. I'd be more bullish than bearish. A close below this pivot of 37 pretty much, 36.99. I'd be more bearish than bullish and wait till earnings. Okay, so let's go look at Apple. Apple and Alibaba just as an update. So on Apple, small little white candle today. It did have a pretty decent little pop at that gap at the support. On Apple, I'm still in the 114 sold call. I have protective puts on Apple, so I think at this point, I'm going to change this to a protective put. And if we break 108.42, I'm probably going to get into some more protective puts on Apple. I don't know if we will. I truly don't. It's pounding out that support as strong as it can. I mean, it is a good morning star off the 100. Good gap that we have not filled yet. We keep pounding that support. If we break through it, I'm more bearish than bullish. If we don't, it'll probably stay bullish-ish to sideways, probably until earnings, where I think we gap up. I would really I would love if Apple does this and gaps up on earnings. That would be stock market manna. That would be awesome. Will it happen? I don't know. So Alibaba, since it's a close, we're not going to close below that price. So I'm going to take our trigger, move it down to 97.88. Watch for potential Morningstar reversal here. What will be phenomenal is if we pin it stair step, for 2 or 3 days and then close below. That would be great. Newsom would love Baba to trade sideways for 1 to 3 days. and then make a lower low, lower high for the bears. This would be cool if that happened. It would be fun, yes. Tommy Monet says GoPro is like a cool bounce. Let's go back to GoPro. GoPro does look cute. It does. It's added support. We finally made it down to that target level of 49.22 and some change. Let's see if we hop into the hourly chart here. Cute little candle. I agree with you. And it's a little bit of a new white soldier. We could play that one pretty quick. Trigger would be 52.81. Depending on how you wanted to play this, I'll just say this one out loud. You could have a protective put at 49.60 if you're planning to be in that trade a little bit longer, and your stop would be approximately 47.83. So there's your daily. So that would be kind of on a little bit of that's a swing trade as far as the setup's concerned. You could do the protect plan on being longer. You guys know I like my protective puts. It just cuts down on whipsaws usually much more. Robert said, did anyone make money on XON? Yes, Cindy went bananas on XON. She said she took it before she could actually write out the trade for us, but she said she did pretty well on it. But that is a cute little candle. It is a new white soldier. So let's see how and if we gap or move or pulsate tomorrow. But it is a good gap. We did make a lower low. I like the candle. Let's see what happens. Tommy says, I have a March call. All right, Tommy, I'm going to put you on. Tommy Monet has a March call. There you go. SPWR. You are correct, Steven. That does look pretty, doesn't it? SPWR. Sun Power Corporation. It does. That would kind of be a longer term double bottom, but I can see it. He says at the 50 exponential. Yep, it's the second time that it hit that, so it'll probably pull in a little bit farther. Well, let's see how and if we can close above that wick. Trigger 27.55 on Sun Power. If we close above there, I'd be more bullish than bearish. Protective put in that gap just in case it kind of pops in. It is a retest gap, so just in case it does it quick, it protects us from a whipsaw at least a little bit. And if it does roll over, we've protected ourselves. Stop would probably go, at least for right now, 24.47. Target one would be 34.80. So the risk reward's there, but that's a longer term trade for sure. That's another 2 to 3 month trade on Sun Power. Tiffany's, you got the little candle. Again, it is a retest gap, so we can expect it to at least kind of pop. At least a tad pull in. So your hourly chart looks decent. You just now made it to the 10 exponential on the hourly. So there's a small little accumulation phase down here. Almost looks like a double bottom-ish type of pattern. This is an aggressive entry, but stop will be 85.02. And yeah, let's see if we can make some higher highs tomorrow, Orkin. $87.22. Pat, you were asking about this one the other day as well, about Tiffany's off the support. So it has some room to move to the 20. This is an aggressive entry, I mean, for sure, because yeah, it could come up. The goal is for it to roll back over at some point, since it's a retest gap on the daily level. So again, you know, our perspective is for something like this to happen and then for it to roll over. So this will probably be a 2-3 hour trade at the best pretty quickly, I would imagine. Sweet. I'll do one last one for Patricia. CBS, and then I'll hit the road. CBS Corporation, pretty decent little gap today. Looks like it's trading sideways, though. Pretty sideways. We have some type of support resistance, approximately 55.89 on CBS. I haven't watched CBS in a while. What is the Super Bowl going to be on this year? CBS or Fox? Probably Fox. NBC? CBS looks interesting. It is an interesting gap off of that support resistance. I would think something like this. If we close kind of below the wick, I'd actually kind of take it below this pivot. If we close below 52.80, I'd be more bearish than bullish. So kind of like non-directionally bearish, maybe. Bear call spread, something like that. And if we close above 56.93, I think I'd be a little bit more bullish than bearish on CBS. Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Brad Reed and Angie Barbosa are going to be holding down the fort tomorrow. I'm hoping for the best. We'll see what the wings of experience will fly us towards. And then I'll make it up for you guys at some point later. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your support and your love. And I appreciate you guys more than anything being real life traders. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you personally Friday. Until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See you guys.